Right, many of you will have seen this. Tottenham are trying to sign Mohamed Kudus, who, yes, to their credit, he wants to join them to the point where he's even seemingly snubbed my mob Chelsea to go to Tottenham Hotspur. We're speaking about the Spurs, the Tottenham today, from the lane, them lot. Because they are in the Champions League, they have just won a trophy, they've got a big boy manager in Thomas Frank, he is good, well respected, they even attracting former player Johan Wissa, who I think would be a good signing. I suppose it'd be a rotational option with Dom Solanke up top, which is good. Mate, if they're going to be playing in the Champions League, they need to put on their big boy trousers, because they got slapped about in the Premier League last season, getting 38 points. 38 points. Historically, the Premier League, you try and get to 40 points so you don't get relegated. That's like the vibe. You get to 40 points and breathe. This is what the promoted teams do. If we can just get to 40 points. Big old Tottenham, best stadium in the Premier League. Wonderful training facilities. Huge organic revenue generators. 38 points. You don't need me to talk to you about how silly that is and all the I mean, they've rightly received a profound amount of banter over last campaign. But you know what it boils down to is they got the trophy, they got the Champions League qualification. That's all that counts. Tottenham fans will rightly be very, very happy with stuff. And you know, from the outside looking in, if I was a Tottenham fan, and thank goodness I'm not, I would be very pleased that you know, Andrew's gone. You know, because he did his job, you can remember him fondly, but my word, my giddy aunt, she's off a ruddy nut, he was not the guy. The way they won it, I'm really, look, I'm a Chelsea fan, I'm all about winning trophies, however you do it, he doesn't have to be stylish, so who am I to, you know, to criticize this, but they stank their way to the final in the Europa League, to the point where, you know, they just played defensive football and then they met a very poor Manchester United in, you know, in the end, in the final. Yes, all right. So what we're going to talk about, Kudus. I want to talk a little bit about Frank as well. Either way, welcome back. Let's start the video with a little bit of admin. Welcome back to Football Yannick. There's daily content here, of course. Very pleased to have you, yes, you, here back on the channel. Amazing support lately here on Football Yannick, so thank you for that. On the road to 20,000 subscribers, so hop on board, for you are most welcome. Do consider liking and subscribing. My friend, you are my friend, whether you like it or not. And yes, and let's get into it. So, I want to speak about Tottenham because this is very fun. I'm gonna do the cheap shot because everyone's doing it, mate. All the podcasters, content creators, heck, the journalists. They put in a bid for Kudus, around 50 million, but the add-ons were if Tottenham, Kudus, win the Champions League and Premier League. $38 Tottenham. Yeah, when we win the Champions League and Premier League, because that ain't competitive. And we're nearly there. You know, we'll get there in the time of Kudus' contract. Obviously, you'll get that money because we're going to win the Premier League, the Champions League, in the time he's going to be hanging with us. Understandably, West Ham went, no. I think there was a quote somewhere, like, you know, something, they asked for something more realistic, and everyone was like, lol, great fun. Everyone had great fun enjoying that. Look, truth be told, Kudus is a great player, hasn't enjoyed great numbers of late, but I would put that down to the team he's playing for, the manager he's playing for, the teammates he's been operating with. It would be churlish for me as a Chelsea fan who was, you know, doing videos on him, potentially coming to my club to suddenly be like, oh, he's terrible. No, he's very good. And I think he'd be very good in another team, and I do include Tottenham in that. So, top banter, terrific banter. Look, Spurs have money to spend. They've won the Europa League. There'll be a few quid involved in that. It'll be negligible in the grand scheme of things. But the real money, the real peas, will come from their Champions League qualification. Tottenham as well do make a lot of organic revenue for all the and you know, when it comes to any fan base, if you are not a member of that fan base, you simply don't have a right to really comment with authority or have an opinion, an educated opinion. So I'm certainly not doing that. But and you know, Tottenham fans rightly, ENIC, Levy out, protests. I dig it. But one thing is, and he's a penis. Excuse my language. Because he is. You could tell in the Amazon documentary the way he was like purring over Mourinho. He was just cut. He's giving cuck big time, isn't he, Levy? He's an incredible businessman and generates a lot of organic revenue for the club, Tottenham, largely out of non-footballing stuff at the stadium and stuff, but he does make a lot of money. They'll have money to spend, and Kudus is a great player. He'll represent a great acquisition. I'm sure they'll get it over the line. Which brings me to the part of the video when we speak about Tottenham more holistically and where they are. So how good are Tottenham, like without Ange and his you know, suicide high line or Brexit ball in Europa League, you know, Jekyll and Hyde vibes. How good are they? Well, before we speak about Frank, firstly, they got good players, right? Vicario is a bit, you know, he's sort of a bit erratic, but I do think he's actually a very good goalkeeper. Should they keep Romero, and he doesn't go to Atletico Madrid, I haven't actually kept tabs on any developments with that interest, but Romero and Van de Ven, yeah, very strong centre-back partnership, you would have to say. Not quite Alderweireld Vertonghen of old, or recent history, but still very strong. And, you know, Porro's an attacking fullback. Jed Spence is oddly, like, you know, taking a while, but he's got there. And they've got good midfielders. They've got Basuma, who's decent. What's his name? Bentancur looks good. Like, they do have good players, youngsters as well. What's his name? So what's the Swedish? Is he Swedish? I'm going to have to Google it. Lucas Bergvall. He is Swedish. Yeah, 19. He's a good player. Dejan Kulusevski, who I think has, you know, he can be amazing. Archie Gray, big future. Bentancur. Yeah, and of course, Papstar as well, playing in the midfield. So they've got some players there. They've got some players. Look, James Maddison, yeah, he's a character, isn't he? But I put Kulusevski much higher than Maddison. And then they've got forwards. Son's probably cooked now, bless him, in terms of his highest level. Dom Solanke is a good striker. And of course, if they do sign a Johan Visser and bring in the likes of Mohamed Kudus, it's a good roster, man, ultimately. But really, let's be honest, the best signing of them all, and it's funny because it's the Brentford manager, is Thomas Frank, because he is a good manager. He's not a spring chicken. How old is he? He's 50, isn't he? He's got great hair. So congratulations to Thomas Frank. He's got wonderful hair. He's got superb hair. He's 51. He turns 52 in October, early October. But he's a good, personable guy. He looks like he keeps healthy. Low body fat, great hair. He's obviously big on nutrition. Big ears, kind of gives like Dobby vibes, but like a sort of handsome don't know if he's handsome. Point being, he's a good gaffer. He's a good acquisition for Tottenham. I think he was probably the obvious choice. Of course, they're being linked with the likes of Marco Silva of Fulham. Who I don't necessarily, I know he's done well, but and Andoni Iraola, but I think the Iraola of Bournemouth and even in Marco Silva of Fulham, who's hopped around a little bit, they kind of feel like they're in the right place at the right time with those clubs. But Frank, Frank does feel like he's ready to make that jump. He, of course, was being interviewed by the likes of Chelsea. Chelsea really liked him. And considering how things have gone with Tottenham, regardless, it's funny because they've been in this peculiar banter sort of time while finally breaking that duck and winning a trophy, which is like a weird paradox. But yeah, they can, for example, they have done the right thing. They've won a trophy, they got Champions League qualification, they've not done the Man United mistake in keeping Ten Hag because he won a trophy and in keeping Ange. So like, no, let's not do that. Let's bring in a guy, let's capitalise, let's be good, let's operate respectively, in a respectable way, should I say, in both the Premier League and the Champions League. Let's not get slapped about. Let's get a good, robust, pragmatic coach in Thomas Frank, where we can play, devastating transitional football at time, which will be effective in Europe, and his teams won't get slapped in the Premier League. I mean, I hope they do as a rival, but I'm trying to be as objective and not a Chelsea fan here. But it is funny, that whole thing, that headline of more realistic add-ons, and naturally everyone in the footballing media world had a little laugh. But I wanted to react to the signing, potentially, their position, their manager. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Of course, if you're watching, even if you're a Tottenham fan, it's all playful banter. You are welcome here. Do consider subscribing. Everyone's welcome here. Come along for the ride. It's just me reacting to football. See you on the next one, hopefully. Peace.